Royal Rebounds TV with Calvin and Barry. Just two crazy fans of the Sacramento Kings and they sharing their opinion. So be sure that you subscribe. It's for the fans by the fans. Whether you chilling on the couch or wildin' in the stand. For laid back conversations about the Kings, subscribe here. Staying down until we come up thinking this gon' be our year. We're here drinking beer, talking about the Kings. Be sure you subscribe so you can hear that bell ring. Yeah.
The Kings won, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Kings won, yeah. The Sacramento Kings, oh, yeah, the Kings won, yeah. Fox is so fast. Sabanas is so strong, yeah. Coach Mike is so smart, yeah. They are the playoff bound, yeah.
What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to Royal Rebounds, a Sacramento Kings YouTube channel for fans, by fans. If you're a Kings fan, make sure you smash up that like button down below and please hit that subscribe button. Calvin's putting the chain on.
I wasn't wearing the chain. What's going on here,
after every single game. What's up, Calvin? Kings win tonight. They beat LA. It's official.
Beat LA.
Oh, I'm just going to pop open a beer here. Oh, it's delicious. So, welcome in, everybody. Yes, the Kings beat the Lakers 134-120. Domantas Sabonis puts up an incredible triple-double. De'Aaron Fox gets ejected out of this game and hurt her. He was hurting her tonight, Calvin. Kevin was back, dude, hitting shots, 3 big threes in this game. And most importantly, the Kings do end up with the victory. What's up, everybody, here in the chat? Brian, Asha, Bouncer, Charles, Derek, Alfie Man, Joe, welcome in, everybody. Good to see you all. David, Ninja Style, welcome in. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome hump day. I know I am, and it's always good having a Kings victory. We're partying here. We are lighting the beam. We're staring at the beam all night long. Calvin, give me your first thoughts on the game tonight.
Well, first of all, shout out to the bouncer for the comment of the night so far. Sabonis got them royal rebounds tonight, 21 of them, in fact. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Big win in dominating fashion. I think that's just my overall thought of this game. Without Anthony Davis, without Russell Westbrook, LeBron did a lot. But other than that, the Kings were the better team the whole way through. And unlike Monday's game against Charlotte, another game that you expected Sacramento to win, they really took control of this game early and didn't let up. Hit their outside shots, even though they started off maybe not so hot in the beginning. It was a total controlling win from a team that you would expect the Kings to do this to.
Yeah, this is the game that I've been waiting for a little while, right? You mentioned Charlotte. I'm talking about Detroit, Toronto. Finally we see this Kings team, take advantage of a lesser team and really control the pace of this game, control the entire game, control the outcome in this game. Yes, it does help that Anthony Davis is out. That dude has been playing incredibly well. But they still have a future Hall of Famer, a first ballot Hall of Famer in LeBron James on the court. And the Kings just did their thing tonight. They executed perfectly. A lot of different guys played well. 5 different starters in double figures. They didn't need much bench production tonight because the starters were playing so well. But I think you hit it right on the head, Calvin. The Kings were finally able to get back to what they did over that huge winning streak we saw a couple weeks ago, where they just controlled the entire pace and the entire game here. So maybe it was an extra night at home, some home cooking. Maybe it was a healthy De'Aaron Fox. But hey, the Kings are finally able to get it done. Let's take a look here at the box score. So as I mentioned at the top of the show, yes, the Kings do get another win tonight, 134-120 over the LA Lakers. Domantas Sabonis, huge game. Calvin, I'm not even going to ask you who the MVP or the king of the game is because I think it's pretty clear here. But 13 big points for Domantas Sabonis, 21 rebounds, and 12 assists in 37 minutes. And hey, he did that all in only 8 shot attempts, which is absolutely huge for the Kings. He does pick up 4 personal fouls in this game. We'll talk about that a little bit later. 20 points for Harrison Barnes, 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 7 from three-point range, and 8 big rebounds for him. Nobody else on this team had more than 5 rebounds. That just goes to show how dominating Sabonis was inside. And yeah, as the bouncer said, he was the royal rebound tonight. That is for sure. Keegan Murray, 23 big points for him, including 6 3-pointers, 6 of 12 from three-point range. All those guys that were saying Keegan Murray needs to take more shots on this team, you got your wish tonight. He led all Kings in shot attempts with 17, 7 of 17 from the field in 35 minutes for Keegan Murray. Absolutely huge monster game for Keegan. De'Aaron Fox, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 of 13 from the field, missed all of his three-point attempts. And like I said, he did get ejected in this game, picked up a second technical foul, only played 30 minutes. 26 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist from Kevin Huerter, 9 of 14 from the field, 3 of 7 from three-point range. And then as far as the bench goes, Cada, we got to see Cada play, and he played pretty well, Calvin. 10 points in 11 minutes, 7 points for Trey Lyles, 8 for Davion. And my guy Malik Monk, only 2 points, only took 3 shots in this game, but had 6 assists, was definitely dishing the ball out and making things happen. As far as the Lakers go, I did mention Anthony Davis was out for this game. LeBron played pretty well, man. 31, 6 rebounds, and 11 assists. LeBron doing LeBron things, but it was not enough. And yeah, all their starters were in double figures. 17 for Thomas Bryant, 13 for Pat Beverly, 18 for Schroeder, and 19 for Lonnie Walker. Not much bench production for them. But this team, they're a small team right now. They're playing a ton of guards. No Russell Westbrook in this game. And I mentioned no Anthony Davis. The Kings just out-small-balled them in this game, and they just dominated. Anything that really stood out to you, Calvin, in the box score here?
I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is how well the Lakers shot. I mean, the Kings certainly didn't play lockdown defense for this entire game, but they were up by over 20 for a good portion of that second half. Still, the Lakers shot over 50% from the field, over 80% at the free throw line, and over 45% from three. So despite some really good shooting for the Lakers, the Kings really made quick work of them with 2 40-point quarters in the second and third.
Yes, they did. Talking about the field goal percentage, you can take a look in here. 50% from the field for both teams, 45% from three-point range tonight for the Lakers, and 36% for your Sacramento Kings. The Kings shot a little bit better from the free throw line. Yes, we want to see them making, above 80, maybe 90% from the free throw line, but 21 of 28, 75% for them. They out-rebounded the Lakers, 46-39. And Calvin, they got a ton of assists in this game. 29, which is much more than the 21, 22, 23 that we've seen over the past couple games. Yes, maybe some of that has to do with making more shots. They did make 17 threes tonight, which is above that 13 number that we've circled in the past. So, the Kings did a little bit of everything tonight. They minimized the turnovers. They got rebounds. They shot decent, and they just assisted the ball. So, F the Lakers, as Tito says. F the Lakers. What's up, Matthew? Good to see you here, or Bench Matthew. Mike, good to see you as well. And Charles, you're here. Jeff the Lefty's here. We got Joey. Welcome in, everybody. We got a ton of stuff to talk about. Neil's here. Derek is here. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, I want to hear from you guys. How does it sound? We're messing with the mics here. We're changing some things up. So I want to know how the audio sounds for you guys, because that's really the most important part. How do I sound? How does Calvin sound? Is it clear for you guys? We definitely want to know that. Also, want to remind you all, we are on Twitter Spaces now. So if you would like to join in the conversation tonight, we are going to be checking in with some people on Twitter Spaces. So make sure you go to Twitter. Make sure you follow us, Royal_Rebounds. You can join in on the Twitter Space, and you can add yourself, or you can request to speak. I'll add you on stage, and you can be live here on the show and interact with Calvin and I. So feel free to do that at any moment you're ready. Charles says, Barry, you have a little static, nothing serious, but not crystal clear. Thank you, Charles. We'll definitely work on that. We're going to continue, to make it a little bit clearer. I'm messing with some filters here and stuff like that, so it will get better. But I appreciate you guys so much. All right, Calvin, I said I wasn't going to ask you, but I'm going to do it anyways. Who's your king of the night?
Man, about midway through the third quarter, I really wanted to go with Keegan Murray. The dude was lighting it up. At that point, he was leading the Kings in scoring. But it's Domantas Sabonis. Come on. Another 20-point game, 2020 game with a triple-double. The guy is just in video game mode right now with the numbers that he puts up. It's becoming a routine thing. I hope that people don't lose, a sense of significance around this because we just expect this type of game from him. But he is everything for this team. Completely the most important player on this team.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Lane says Red Velvet. Kevin did lead all scorers tonight for the Sacramento Kings with 26 points. A huge night for him. It's good to see him bounce back with the shooting numbers. I would have loved if he would have hit that dunk late in the game, Calvin, but it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, man. If you want the player of the game, Shane, you got to throw it down when you go in for the dunk right there, especially when you're 6'7", man. Come on.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Well, Calvin, I think it's the defensive player of the game, Shane, right? So who would you give that to tonight?
That's a good question. I always like what Davion did in there. Keegan Murray and Davion, I think, took multiple charges in this game, so I would put both of them up pretty high. Harrison Barnes, got to give a shout-out to him on a bad quad to guard LeBron James. I know he didn't really do that much, as most people are ineffective in guarding one of the greatest players ever, but to take that, responsibility coming off of the hurt quad in the game before, I think you have to give him an honorable mention. I might give it to Keegan, actually. He really impressed me again with his off-ball defense. I love Davion as well. I don't know. I think it's a tie to me for both of them, but I just like the fact that Keegan seems to get better and better. This dude is not going to be a lockdown wing defender or perimeter defender like KZ is. He just doesn't have the lateral quickness for that against guys in the NBA. But where he can really make a difference is his off-ball defense. His rotations are good today. His rotation from into the paint to cut off the secondary drive and then back out to the three-point line to close out were good. Couple of charges taken. He's starting to put it together mentally. So.
I love it. I love it when I see Kings players taking charges. And you're right. He was huge tonight. Charles is pointing out here in the chat, Harrison Barnes, 0 personal fouls for him tonight in 34 minutes of action. Can you play better defense than that?
In terms of not fouling, no.
I mean, he's guarding LeBron James, right? When's the last guy to guard LeBron James, plays 34 minutes and has 0 personal fouls? That's got to be an accomplishment in itself.
That is pretty good.
That's crazy. Mickey Sticky Icky or Mickey Icky Sticky, I always get your name wrong, but shout out to you. And the Kings win. Yeah. Also, shout out to my guy Callum. Callum, we appreciate you for the super chat. Definitely going in the beer fund. So thank you so much. He says La Bum, La Choker, La Washed. Oh man, I don't know if I agree with those exactly because I was looking at some stats today.
Definitely not
it was
La
crazy.
Washed.
I was talking to Ethan, right, and of course he's hating on De'Aaron Fox and hating on De'Aaron Fox when he gets ejected. But we're talking about LeBron. I'm a big LeBron James fan. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I guess I could say I was a big LeBron James fan, right? Because I stopped rooting for him when he went to the Lakers. But I do enjoy greatness, and watching him throughout his career has been pretty incredible. But Ethan and I are talking about most durable players of all time, right? And he mentions LeBron James, and I'm like, dude, you got to look at these stats from Karl Malone. I'm showing him all the games that Karl Malone's played. It is absolutely incredible, dude. The amount of games that this guy has even missed, dude. Like, the dude maybe missed 4 games in his whole career for 20 years. That's
pretty incredible.
I
mean, Kareem is up there too, right?
Incredible.
Definitely a durable player that played for a very, very long time.
Yeah, but I guess we can all agree that LeBron is not what he once was, right? He's still incredible, man. I mean, the dude's averaging, 27, 8, and 6 this year or something like that, which is...
Coming off 4 straight 30-point games.
Which is
if
just
he's not,
around his average.
We can agree he's not what he once was,
yes.
But he's still much better than most of the league, even at 38 years old.
He still is an amazing player. So, shout out to LeBron, but hey, F the Lakers, light the beam. The Kings are beating LA, and it feels incredible. Callum says, Buddy Hield is a legit Iron Man, never misses games. Yeah, I agree with you, Callum. Got to give a shout out to Buddy Hield. However you feel about him, the dude has
He's
been
got
an
a long
absolute
way to go before he
Iron
gets to
Man.
Karl Malone, though.
He's been
7 years,
Iron
much
Man.
different than 20.
Yeah. Also, I guess we can give an honorable mention to Russell Westbrook, who actually missed this game tonight, which is kind of funny. He was super ice cold, dude. He's probably icing himself in the locker room. Couldn't even come out for this game. But hey, Russell Westbrook didn't miss a game. What was it? Junior high, high school, college, NBA, until he got undercut by Pat Beverly. I think in like his 5th or 6th year in the NBA, something like that. Hey, now they're on the same team, Calvin, and we just beat both of them tonight. So that definitely feels good. Mike says Russ is the worst MVP ever. You agree with that, Cal?
We've had this debate before. He's an MVP, so to say he's the worst one, still, again, just like LeBron is less of what he used to be, but still better than most, Russell Westbrook is still better than most.
Yeah, very, very true. All right, let's jump back here into the game tonight. You want to talk a little bit about De'Aaron Fox, what you saw to him? You could talk briefly on the ejection, the technical fouls. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? I missed that play because I was celebrating, dude. Like every time something good happened, I was running around the room. So I missed some plays, and I missed the ejection. But can you kind of just summarize that a little bit?
Well, I'm not going to back De'Aaron Fox on this one. I was very, very unhappy with him getting ejected in that moment. I understand you're frustrated. He did get fouled on that play, most likely. He gets fouled probably, 60 to 70% of the time that he goes to the basket. It's probably only called 30 to 40% of the time, maybe. And I understand that's very frustrating as a player. But when you're one of, if not the best players on a team, yeah, they were up 16 at the time, but there's still 3 minutes left in the game. You cannot pick up 2 technical fouls back-to-back and get tossed out of that game. Especially, the Lakers were on, I think, a 13-3 run or something like that at that point, so they were working their way back into the game. Now, he's one of the best clutch players in the NBA. You're not going to have him for the final 2 minutes. If the Lakers made that a close game, there's no excuse for De'Aaron Fox here, in my opinion. I supported Mike Brown for what he did in Toronto, clearly going after the ref, very unhappy with the way the game was officiated and the way his star players are officiated in general. To me, that's a move that a coach can make. I don't approve of it every time, but players should not be doing that. Players play. You can talk to the ref, you can be upset, but there's no excuse for you to get tossed immediately in the fourth quarter of any game if you're one of the most important players on the team. So I'm not happy with that at all. He did not obviously have as good of a game as he had in Charlotte. Luckily, the rest of the team stepped their games up a lot, and they didn't need him to be, the heroics, late game heroic guy. But not a good look, man. You've got to be able to bottle it in that moment and finish out the game strong.
As DJ says here, the boys had his back. The rest of the Kings, they did close out luckily this game and get the win here. But Calvin, do you see any similarities between this situation and maybe the situation where we saw Julius Randle get ejected by the Knicks or from the Knicks just about a week ago?
Well, yeah. I mean, I see similarity in that if you're one of the best players on the team or on the entire court, you're too important. You cannot, I don't care how much you're up, whether it's 30 or 5, you can't get yourself tossed from a game, because if your team ends up losing as a result of that, a lot of the blame should be placed on you because you weren't there to help them get it done at the end. So it's not a good look. I would be really disappointed if I was his coach. Again, the coach should be the guy that has the back for his star players. He should be the guy in the ref's ear all game. You have to have better control of your emotions in the fourth quarter than that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think everybody in the chat here wants to talk a little bit about Keita. They're excited, dude. Even Kings fans are so excited about Keita. They're just so excited, dude. I think his name has been mentioned in the chat. Calvin, every single game, dude, every single post game we've had this season, his name has been mentioned. Where is he? Is he going to play? I think they should call him up, all this. We saw him, basically get shut down last time he played, and that was in, Philadelphia against the Sixers. He got dominated by Embiid, which, makes sense. But he had a great game tonight. 10 points in 11 minutes, only 3 rebounds, which I'd like to see a little bit more, but 5 of 5 from the field. What did you like? What did you dislike out of Cada tonight?
Well, what a difference it makes to, depending on your matchup, right? It's that game he comes in against Embiid, arguably one of the 2 best centers in the NBA. And then on Monday, they've got to go against one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the NBA. Not that Mason Plumlee and Nick Richards are all-star players, but they're relentless pros who've got a bunch of reps in the NBA as well, which Keita does not have. So this game, obviously, he had a much better matchup. Now, after the Charlotte game, you and I both said we didn't think he was ready to play, real NBA minutes. I still believe that for the most part, but I've done a little bit more thinking about the situation and the Kings situation in particular, how they have absolutely no real backup center. I think that it's okay to keep him up on the big league team and not send him back to the G League for a couple of reasons. Number one, more reps for him are going to be good. If he's able to practice with this team every day, it must be really hard to go back and forth from Stockton to Sacramento, Stockton to Sacramento. You can't really develop much of a chemistry with anybody on the team. And that's the first thing that I noticed in, the first couple minutes that he got today. He gets 2 alley-oops right away from Malik Monk. That sort of thing will come with more repetition and more practice with the guys in your team and more game minutes. I don't think he should be playing 20-plus minutes a game, but at the same time, this team doesn't need a backup center to play 20-plus minutes a game. Mike Brown's just looking for somebody that can hold down that spot for 12 to 15 minutes to either give Sabonis enough of a rest or help him out when he's in foul trouble. Keita still is a very raw player. Not the greatest rebounder, especially for a guy who's over 7 feet tall. And I think he's still adjusting, obviously, to the NBA game, right? It's one thing when you, no offense to anybody that plays in the Mountain West Conference, but you're not going up against the premier big men in the NBA or in the college ranks. So when you're 7 feet tall, rebounds come pretty easy to you. Block shots come a lot easier to you because you're not playing the best of the best competition, especially the guys who are your size. Now he's in the NBA. It's a much different game. So he, just like we talk about Keegan Murray adjusting to the speed and the physicality and all that stuff, that is going to happen with Keita as well. But he shows you a lot of reasons why he could at least give you those 10 to 12 minutes and be pretty productive. 5 of 5 from the field, was in the right place offensively. He gives you the vertical rim threat. And he's definitely has the rim protection capability. It's the rebounding, boxing out, adjusting to the physicality and the speed in terms of help defense. I think that he's going to have the biggest hurdles to overcome.
Real quick, shout out to Angel here in the chat. Angel, I appreciate you so much. Angel wants to remind everybody, make sure you go vote for the All-Star game. We got to vote for all these Kings players, Fox, Sabonis. If you really want them to be an all-star, go vote. Go to vote.nba.com. You can vote every single 24 hours, all the way until January 21st. And fan votes account for 50%. They're weighted 50% for as far as them making the game. So if you can vote every single day, you can vote for all 5 starters on the Sacramento Kings if you want. But just please go vote. Go vote for your Kings All-Stars. This is the difference between, making an all-star team and missing an all-star team is support by the fans, your fan base. Us Kings fans, we have a very dedicated fan base, but it's very small. It's a very small fan base as opposed to, a New York Knicks or an LA Lakers or some of these other teams. So, guys, please go out and vote for De'Aaron Fox. Go out and vote for Domantas Sabonis. We want to see these guys in the All-Star game. we can do it, guys. We got to stick together. Vote every day. Set a reminder in your phone. Click on the link. Vote every single day for these guys. You got to do it. You got to do it. If you voted, make sure you smash up that like button. I want to see how many guys are actively voting every single day, because you know I am, and I know Calvin is as well.
Oh, yes.
All right, back to Cada. I like what I saw out of him tonight. You know, I had some concerns, especially after the past couple games, right? You mentioned the game on Monday, and then, you know, honestly, the game that really stands out to me is that game against the Sixers, right, against Joel Embiid. I thought that was just a raw deal for him. Obviously, it was his first game, and he was playing against the best, if not the best, one of the best centers in the NBA, which is a really, really tough job. That was probably his welcome to the NBA moment, right? It's like, oh, wow, I picked up, 3 fouls in 2 minutes or something like that? Something ridiculous. But, hey, I think he played really good tonight. I could see him play better. Like you mentioned, I'd like to see him rebound a little bit better, because the dude is absolutely huge. But when you have a guy like Domantas Sabonis just gobbling up 20 rebounds a game, it's ridiculous, dude, how many rebounds this guy gets. But when you have a guy like that getting all the rebounds, and he just has the ability to start the fast break, that's one thing that I really like when Sabonis gets a rebound, is he can get it out of his fans extremely fast, and they can get it up the court quickly. There's not a lot of guys in the NBA that can grab a rebound and instantly start a fast break like Domantas Sabonis can. So I like to see him get it. But back to Keita, I would like to see a little bit better on the rebounding front. But, hey, he scored well tonight, 5 of 5. He played good defense. What more could you really ask for this guy? I just, with all these younger guys, I really have to just tell everyone to just pump the brakes a little bit and just hold off. Yes, we saw some exciting moments, but you just got to be patient. These guys take so long to develop. You don't see all the work they're doing in the back end. They're working their asses off, because, of course, nobody wants to play bad on a stage like that. Everyone wants to play good, so they're really trying. They're putting in all the work that they can, but just be patient with this guy. Big men take a little bit longer to develop. I like what I'm seeing out of him. Like you said, Calvin, I'm probably not going to send him down to the G League like I was on Monday, because I was emotional after the loss. But, let's just be patient with this guy. He definitely can bring something and help this basketball team. So shout out to everybody that's been talking about Cada. He's got some real ones. Definitely looking out for him. But great game for Cada.
And Charles made some good points here in the chat. He runs the floor really well for a big man. And I think if you're going to have a completely different style of center come in when Sabonis goes to the bench, this is a pretty good person to have pair with Fox, which is why I would stagger Sabonis and Fox's minutes if Keita is going to be the consistent backup center, because this dude sets really good screens. He's a huge man. He gets very, very wide. He can create a lot of space for De'Aaron Fox. And like Charles said, anybody who attempts as a 7-footer to run the floor with De'Aaron Fox, that's a very admirable thing. So I think there are a lot of good qualities that you could pair offensively here with De'Aaron in terms of Keita's game, and a very completely different style than Sabonis. But again, that's probably a great thing for the Kings anyway, right? Because if Sabonis is on the bench, you want De'Aaron Fox to have the ball in his hands and be aggressive, because we've seen the Kings obviously play the facilitating part of the game through Domantas Sabonis for the most part this season. But De'Aaron can get that shot anytime he wants. So a guy that can free him up with a really good screen and roll to the basket as a lob threat, that's a good partner for De'Aaron Fox.
Couldn't agree more. Brian says, I think it'll be a little bit more fair for us in all-star voting if we have more national TV coverage. Couldn't agree more, Brian. Couldn't agree more. I really hope they do flex the Lakers out of some of these games and add the Kings in. But, hey, next Wednesday we're playing on NBA TV against the Denver Nuggets. And then January 11th we're back on ESPN against the Houston Rockets. So we do have a couple nationally televised games coming up. And, yes, I'm counting NBA TV as nationally televised. But, hey, we got a couple games coming up here. So, definitely, hopefully we'll get a couple more eyes on these Kings players. And hopefully the Kings will continue to play extremely well. But either way, dude, Domantas Sabonis is definitely getting some recognition. I love me some De'Aaron Fox. I think he's having an incredible season. But guys getting 20-plus rebounds over and over and over again is definitely going to catch the eyes of some people on ESPN, some people on NBA TV, and they're going to be talking about him. So I expect to see him on ESPN tomorrow. That's for sure. All right. Callum says Matthew Dellavedova is the GOAT. Don't know about that. Charles says, I'm not trading anybody named Holmes or Len. Maybe you add Davis, but that's sort of iffy. I guess we have a few second-rounders and a 2028 first. Yeah, Charles, that's pretty much where we're at right now, right? But, at the same time, is Monty really trying to make a huge move here? He hasn't really made any huge moves. I mean, you could say that the Halliburton trade for Sabonis was a big move. It didn't even include a first-round pick in that. It was basically 2 players for, 3 players or something like that. Pretty even swap, for an ex-All-Star that was not an All-Star at the time, even though I believe he is now. But, this team has been built around making smart moves, making calculated moves, not so much a going all in on one player or one piece. So I don't know if I see the Kings making a big splash move. Of course I would be happy if they did, right? If they traded for Anthony Davis, I'm going to be ecstatic. If they trade for a big name player, I'm going to be ecstatic. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. They may have been making small tweaks and adding underrated players consistently and drafting well, and that's kind of gotten us to where we're at right now. So don't fix it if it ain't broken, I guess is my thinking right now. You agree with that, Cal?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, a bunch of people voted here in the chat. That's great. Fox and Ox. I love it, dude. We need a vote for the Ox or vote for the Fox t-shirt. That would be great. That would really, really be great. Charles says, yep, Barry, I want smart, not flashy. This team likes one another and plays well with one another. And after all, the damned goal this season was the playoffs, not the championship. Yeah, 100%. Bouncer, I voted for Murray too. Why not, right? Why not? DJ says, incremental moves, bro. Yeah, that's exactly what we've been doing. And it's been working out. Calvin, you wanna gloat a little bit about Keegan Murray? This is the guy that you've been talking about all offseason. He was your pick in the draft. You thought he was going to be the most NBA ready. He struggled early in the season, and everyone was like saying, trade Keegan. We got to get rid of Keegan. This guy is not ready. All this. Incredible game for him tonight. 23 points, including 6 3-pointers. Calvin, I'm giving you permission right now if you want to give yourself a pat on the back. You want to talk yourself up a little bit. But let's try and stick to Keegan Murray if you can.
Okay. Well, I'll pat myself on the back the day he makes his first All-Star team. How about that? He's got a long way to go still. But the reason I liked him so much was because I felt like his game was tailor-made for the modern NBA. He's a stretch wing who's a really efficient outside shooter, very smart player, moves well off the ball, versatile on defense as well. That stuff, he's got a long way to go, again, to catch up to the speed of the NBA game, but he'll get there. This is a guy that guarded basically 1 through 5 in college at certain points of the season. They ran him on the point of their full court press. You can't do that unless you're A, a really smart player, and B, a guy that's going to be exactly the type of player that NBA teams want now. They want those big, long wings that can shoot the three and guard multiple positions on defense. So his game is made for the NBA, and I think more specifically, it fits so perfectly on this team. When you think about Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, his speed, spacing the floor is a really important thing to keep the lane open. And you have a guy in Sabonis who's one of the best passing big men who is always going to be able to find you in the corner or on the wing for an open look. It just made a lot of sense to me to put this guy on this team.
Yeah, Calvin, it makes a lot of sense to me now. I was not the biggest Keegan Murray fan, but hey, I trust you, bro. I listened to you. I was happy with the pick. And it seems to be working out. I mean, it is early, like you said, right? Once he makes his first All-Star team, we can celebrate. You know, you can enjoy patting yourself on the back. You're not even going to get tangled in your hair because it's going to be shaved off. You know, we can do all those things. We can do all those things. And I'm excited. I really, really am excited. Edward says, Murray is the truth. Jay, what's up, Jay? Calvin, this is a tough one here.
We haven't even mentioned. We saw Keegan. He didn't do it, but we saw him try to dunk on somebody tonight.
He will,
no,
dude.
seriously,
He will.
that's a step in the right direction.
He will.
I think this guy has really shied away from contact. He's not the greatest finisher in general, but that's something that you heard Mike Brown say, right? This is the NBA, man. If you're going to go to the basket, you go strong and you dunk on somebody. And we saw him try to do it tonight. So hopefully that gives him a little bit more confidence, because that's honestly the thing that is going to take his game to an entirely different level. And we've already seen him have a bunch of 20-point games early on. That's basically only on threes. When people start to take that away, the pump fake, drive to the basket, a mid-range, a floater, or an attack on the rim, get to the free throw line, that's how he goes from being just a role player to a borderline star player that could really take this team to another level.
You think if Keegan dunks on somebody, he's going to have any emotion, or is he just going to walk away and pretend like it didn't happen?
I don't know, man. He might be so surprised at himself the first time that he does it that we might not see any emotion whatsoever, or we might see more emotion than you've ever seen from Keegan Murray in his entire life. It could be either one.
I saw a picture floating around online of him this week. I think it was from high school, and he had a smile on his face, and they're like, see, he does have emotion. Look at this guy. We found a picture of him smiling one time in the past. I think that's hilarious, man. When I think of this guy, I think of like a Kawhi Leonard, right? We had the funny laugh, right? The Terminator commercials were absolutely ridiculous when the new Terminator was coming out and they're calling him a Terminator. Oh, man, that is hilarious. But, yeah, Keegan Murray, the silent killer, dude. Special K. Jay, what's up, Jay? Jay says, if only one of the two between Fox and Sabonis can make the All-Star team, who would you rather see there, and who would deserve it more?
Oh, that's an easy question.
I'm going with Sabonis.
Yeah, he absolutely deserves it more.
And not that Fox doesn't deserve it, but you put us in a tough position.
Sabonis deserves it more.
You put us in a tough position. DJ says, too early to consider moving Murray unless you're getting a bona fide historical all-star, but you're not, so forget about it. Yeah, I mean, and also a lot of the all-stars that may be available are guys that are a little bit older, they're dealing with a ton of injuries. So it's like, dude, even not saying that this is possible, but even if you could trade Keegan Murray for Kawhi Leonard, right? Even if you could do that straight up, like it doesn't work, but even if you could do that, does that really make this a better team? Maybe it does for this year, maybe next year. We don't even know how many games Kawhi is going to play. We don't know what Kawhi's uncle's going to say, what he's going to do. And Calvin, I know this is a hot take because you're like, of course it does make the team better. Yeah. It does when he's available. But what I'm talking about is the age, the injuries. Does he line up with the timeline? Obviously, I don't expect this Kings team to win a championship in the next couple of years. So what's the point of adding a guy like Kawhi Leonard that by the time they're ready to compete for a championship, he's over the hill is kind of the point that I'm trying to make. You disagree?
No, that's fair. I mean, if you're asking me who would I rather have, I would rather have Kawhi Leonard, even though he's maybe only going to play 40 games. I'd still rather have Kawhi Leonard with the chance that I get him healthy for the postseason. But I understand timeline. That's one of the things that the Clippers are lucky. They can afford perhaps to have him only play 30 to 40 games because they're incredibly deep and they don't care about the regular season. They just care about the postseason. But the Kings are not in that position yet. So,
oh, bouncer. Lakers fans left sad tonight. Yeah, they did. Good for them, dude. Good for them. You know, that's what happens. You try and take over somebody else's home arena and you lose, you better go home silent, dude. Don't even turn that radio on. Look down if you're not driving and go right to sleep. Go home, go right to sleep and cry away your sorrows because you just lost to the Sacramento Kings. And get used to it, buddy, because it's going to happen more and more. It will. It really will. What's up, Alex? Love the win. Lakers are a team that if you take their confidence away, they'll give up. Usually, I still think we need a Mo Bamba type player. That Hornets game still has me thinking. How are you feeling about that, Cal?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's obvious that one of the Kings' biggest weaknesses is just size in general, rebounding, rim protection, interior defense, all that stuff. They definitely need to add some sort of piece. But just like Brian says here, you have to understand what you're working with here. It's not, this isn't 2K. You just don't go out and say, okay, we want this player, bring him here now. Trades don't just happen overnight. They're actually really difficult to pull off in the NBA. So especially when you've got a list of guys here that either, the Kings are in a rough position. The people that they want to trade the most don't have a lot of value because they don't play a ton. And they're also, just mid-level players at this point. Then you go up the list, you say, okay, well, Harrison Barnes probably has some trade value now. Terrence Davis might have a little bit of trade value now. But at what point do you risk trading Harrison Barnes just so you can get a Nerlens Noel or somebody to come in off the bench, and maybe block a shot or a shot and a half a game and get 7-8 rebounds? Does that make you a better team? Harrison Barnes does a lot for this team, and he's played really, really well over the past, 3-4 weeks now. So it's a tough position to be in if you're the Kings, if you're trying to improve the team through a trade, because you've already got a pretty good team right now. So yes, they need all of that stuff, but it's not a magic recipe that's going to automatically fix those things just by trading Rashawn Holmes for, another backup center and maybe a pick or something like that.
Alex says, the Raptors sold their soul for 1 year to get a championship with Kawhi. I'd do that in a heartbeat, even if we suck for 10-plus years again. It's worth it if you get those results. Alex, I mean, the thing is like nothing's guaranteed, right? Nothing's guaranteed at all. Yeah. But at the same time, that Raptors team was a really good team. They had all-stars already on that squad, and they've been in the playoffs. They've done well. You can't just take a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 16 years, think that they're on the up and up, and then just try and trade for one guy and expect a championship. I don't think that's going to work. I think the Raptors, were in an interesting situation. I think they, had some injuries that definitely helped them out in the finals. But, a lot of people would trade anything for a championship. I would trade anything for a championship for the Kings. If I could do anything in the world for them to win the championship this year, I would do it. And in case of an FBI investigation, I do not mean anything serious by that. But anyways, there's no guarantees. So what I'm saying is you're much better off building this team, sticking with the plan, sticking with the youth, letting them grow together, develop chemistry. Don't bet it all on red right now. Don't bet it all on red because we don't have to. We really, really don't have to. Calvin, you know what I need right now?
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
We need more cowbell.
I'm telling you, fellas, you're going to want that cowbell.
Yeah, we want that cowbell.
You want it.
Gotta have it. Joe says LeBron will force a trade. He wants to come join you guys. I mean, he should, right? If he's the king, as he says, he should, want to be with the Kings. That would only make sense. That would only make sense. And, hey, Calvin, I got the sound here.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
Charles says, Barry is wrong here. I'm not with that flash in the pan shit. I want dynasty, not 1 year of happiness followed by fucking 16 more years of shit. Charles, man, come on. You wouldn't give up anything for a championship? I mean, I'm talking about a guaranteed championship. I would, dude. Calvin, would you?
I mean, Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed championship?
Nothing's
It would be
guaranteed
pretty
in
rough
life,
to
Calvin.
know
It's
that
a
your
trick
team would
question.
suck for the rest of eternity just for that one championship. But look, I think the bigger picture here is that like you said, the Kings are doing this the right way right now. They've hit on big-time draft picks. They made an excellent move at the trade deadline last season to get Domantas Sabonis, to pair him with Fox. They built a good team around them. They're young. They have a lot of cap space coming up this summer. They're doing this the right way, especially for a small market team. So let's not get ahead of ourselves and try to jump a couple steps by swinging for the fences and making some big splash trade move that maybe it helps them a little bit, but it doesn't make them possibly as good in the long run as if they would have stuck it out with this complete rebuild.
Yeah, I agree with you. And guys, don't take me the wrong way. I'm not breaking up this team. That's a trick question. I said guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in this life. So I'm not blowing up this team to try and chase a ring for 1 year. That's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm excited about this team. I like where they're at. And honestly, they're doing it the right way, like you guys are saying. I think there's only 3 guarantees
Sebastian,
in life.
we're not
right?
scared, man. I don't know where you're getting that from. And if it's so easy to get out there and get a championship level piece, tell me what the move is. What move are you making right now that makes this team a championship contender?
Calvin, there's only 3 guarantees in life, right? You got death, you got taxes, and then the third one.
The Kings won, yeah. Oh yeah, the Kings won, yeah. The Sacramento Kings, oh yeah, the Kings won, yeah. Fox is so fast. Sabonis is so strong, yeah. Coach Mike is so smart, yeah. They are the playoff bound, yeah.
There you go. There you go. I don't even know what makes me feel more normal, Calvin, is the fact that the Kings are good or the fact that we play the Island Boys after every single win, dude. The Island Boys are Kings fans, apparently, and it's working, which is the weirdest thing about it. If I would have played that video the first time and then they went on like a 10-game losing streak, I probably would have never played that video again. But it's working, guys. It's working. I don't know why. I'm not messing with it. So we're going to continue to play the Island Boys. Shout out to Bouncer. Yeah, that's for you, buddy. That is for you. An Angel, yeah. First time. Crazy, right? Crazy. Joe says, those clowns annoy me. Yeah, they annoy me too until we win basketball games, and then they don't annoy me, and we're winning, and that's the important thing. Also, want to give a shout-out to the Portland Trail Blazers for losing tonight. They suck. We're now the 6th seed again, Calvin. We jumped them, so that's always good. Let's jump back here into the game. We got a little bit of sidetrack, like we always do, because my mind is all over the place, especially after a Kings win, and especially over the bitch-ass Lakers. But hey, Trey Lyles, 7 points for him in 8 minutes, limited action. We saw KZ play 2 minutes, 2 minutes for Dellavedova, Mitchell 16, Davis 15, Monk 18. I mentioned only 2 points for Monk, but he did have 6 assists in the game tonight. Only took 3 shot attempts, so he was, not an inefficient version of himself. Calvin, who were you most impressed of all the bench players tonight? Who was the most impressive to you? And don't take the easy one. Don't tell me Cada.
I would probably go Davion, actually. The dude, I just can't get over how much. When I watch guys play defense in the NBA, guys are really good in the pros, right? So you're never going to completely shut somebody down, even though Davion actually has had moments like that in his short NBA career. But what I look for is, can you take away a guy's initial move? It changes your defense so much when one individual player can alter a team's play or what they're looking for, right? And what I mean by that is aggressively fighting over screens, whether it's on ball or coming off ball. He's always right there in the guy's shorts, taking away that initial move. When a guy wants to drive right, forcing him to go left, taking that first option away, that's what makes you a really good defender in the NBA, especially when you're an on-ball primarily defender. And then he was able to hit some outside shots tonight too. So I thought he had a really good game. He definitely likes playing against the Lakers, and he didn't have Patrick Beverley on him because he was on Kevin Huerter for most of the game, so that gave him a chance to kind of get a couple open looks at the basket. But I will say this, Trey Lyles is an important player for this team.
Definitely.
Because, first of all, we've talked a long time this year about how the power forward and center positions, once you get outside of the starters, and even in the starters, you know, Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray aren't really true power forwards. Trey Lyles is a guy that can really help this team. It was great to see him get off to a good start offensively, because he's been struggling a bit of late. We know he was sick, and that obviously took some repetition, and he lost minutes out of that, which he's kind of playing catch up with now. But he's a guy that can do damage in the reserve unit. He can play the power forward position with the rest of the starters. He gives them a nice size and length so that they don't have to always commit to the small ball by playing Terrence Davis at the small forward. I think that Trey Lyles is an important guy, especially when you add in that he can stretch the floor with the three-point shooting a little bit. We've seen him be a good facilitator and playmaker at times. So if he can get back into a good rhythm, that really helps the Kings in terms of their bench production.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan. I really like what he does. Really like. We got a couple people arriving in late. Calvin, who got your defensive player of the game chain?
I'm going to give it to Keegan Murray, man. Give it to the rookie.
Keegan. Wow. Keegan.
Couple of big charges taken. Statistically, it doesn't really jump off the page from you, but I thought that he played a really good all-around game. They gave up 120 points. It wasn't like there was complete lockdown defense being played by many of these guys, but very timely charges taken. I thought his closeout and recoveries to the three-point line were really good. I would give it to him.
Yeah, great performance. Jay says, the Island Boys thing isn't a cameo video someone paid them to do. Yeah, Jay.
Oh, wait, Angel, is that right? Did Murray
Jay,
actually get it?
The Island Boys are Kings fans, dude. They are Kings fans. You saw the video. They're bona fide Kings fans. I also just found out last week, I was telling Calvin, Harrison Barnes is Matt Barnes' cousin. So that's pretty interesting there. I did not think those guys were related, but that's very, very interesting. Also want to remind you guys, if you do want to jump in on this conversation, if you just want to say hi to us or have your opinion heard, jump on Twitter Spaces. Join us. Go to Twitter. Check out our profile, Royal_Rebounds. You can join the Twitter Space by clicking our profile picture, hit Join Space, and then if you want to jump up on stage, just hit Request to Speak, and I'll bring you up, and we'd love to hear from you. So feel free to join us on Twitter Spaces anytime. All right. Gilbert says, what other celebrities should y'all want to recruit to be Kings fans? Well, we got 50 Cent now, right? We got the Island Boys. Calvin, any celebrities that you really, chasing or courting here for Kings fans? Who would be the perfect Kings fan? Flava Flav?
I don't know. Do we really need a gimmick celebrity fan? No. Part of the reason this fan base is as good as it is because we're a real fan base, right?
Yeah, we don't need to pay fans, dude, to be fans. We're not the Lakers. We don't need to pay people. We got true fans, dude. Anybody with a cowbell, I would like to see them be a Kings fan.
There you
go. Charles, no, nobody paid them to do that video. They did it out of the goodness of their heart, dude. I'm pretty sure about that. All right,
that's definitely not the Kardashians. We don't need that curse on Sacramento.
From Silva. Silva said, all I can say is if we can do something with Holmes, Len, Metu, Lyles, and get something back good, that would be great. Yeah, I mean, Silva, I think all Kings fans are kind of in that same boat where it's like, yeah, this is how I feel about my fantasy team, Calvin. When I have guys that are just sitting on my bench and they don't really do much, I always try and trade them for like a top running back or a top wide receiver. and my trades just always get declined, man. It's really, really unfortunate because I'm like, dude, you could use 3 running backs that I got that are backups and maybe like a 3rd-tier wide receiver, and you just give me that guy that you drafted, with the 10th overall pick, and it's a fair deal. But, Calvin, they keep declining my trades. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I was actually going to say, in fantasy football, you can get away with manipulating other people in your league for trades like that. Not in the NBA, though.
Hey, Alfie, man, get out of here with that K word, dude. That K word is not allowed here on the channel. Slipknot would be cool. Diplo. Oh, that would be all
How
fun
about
stuff.
Tyson Fury? He's the Gypsy King.
Yeah, who's like a
He's
famous
always walking
king?
around with a crown on.
Who's a king, dude? Who's a famous king?
Oh, there are a lot of those. Most of them are dead, so they can't root for the Kings anymore.
All right. What NFL team do you like? I'm a Rams fan. Calvin is a Bears fan. Dude,
Why you
Mike
gotta say it like
Tyson.
that?
That would be incredible. I would love Mike Tyson as a Kings fan. That would be great. That'd be great.
Ooh,
I actually
J.
have
Cole's
an
a good one.
autographed
I
Mike
like J.
Tyson
Cole.
boxing
That
glove.
would be cool.
But yeah, that'd be great. J. Cole, I like J. Cole. What about Wiz Khalifa? We're just gonna throw out our favorite rappers.
There you
Wiz
go.
Khalifa, Snoop Dogg. Even
Yep.
though Snoop Dogg's a
Lil
Lakers
Wayne.
fan, maybe we can convert him. I don't know. Maybe we can convert him. All right, we should jump back here to the game. We're getting too sidetracked. We're having too much fun, Calvin. It's another Kings victory. Anybody else you want to give a shout out tonight for tonight's game? I mean, Herter, he's got the shot back. He made 3 threes tonight. Harrison Barnes didn't seem to be struggling from that injury that he left the past game with. Played pretty good. Anybody else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I gave my shout-outs for the game. My favorite players from tonight's game are probably going to be Sabonis, Keegan Murray. I'll put Kevin Herter in there. I really like what Davion did off the bench. He's the one guy to me on this team that he doesn't have to have a ton of statistics for me to know that he had a really good game or helped the team in a really big way. But he actually did knock down some outside shots tonight. And we already talked about Fox and how I thought that was a pretty boneheaded play at the end there. So maybe he comes after me on Twitter today instead of
Throw
Matt
that
George.
jab in there, huh, Calvin? Just throw that jab in there. I'm going to start
Yeah.
calling you Ethan. Start calling you Ethan. Dude, I see more people talking about Mike Tyson. The bouncer said, I would let Mike Tyson punch me in the face for a Kings championship. Wow. Take that, dude. Take that. I mean, not 1 year of championship basketball, but I'll let him punch me in the face for a championship. That's dedication, bouncer. I like it. That's why you are the bouncer. You're willing to take a punch in the face. Hopefully you take the same thing for Calvin and I, right? You take a bullet, you dive in front of us, if it's Mike Tyson or not, right? You just jump right in there and bounce him out of here. I like it. I like that attitude. Joe, good comment. If you guys have never watched it before, I would urge everybody to check out Mike Tyson Mysteries. Dude, there's so many seasons now of it, but it is absolutely hilarious. It used to be on Adult Swim. Now I think you can stream it online on their website. But check out Mike Tyson Mysteries. It's a cartoon. It's like Scooby-Doo, but it's got Mike Tyson. He does do his own voice, and he is a writer for the show. The first 2 seasons are my favorite because I haven't really made it past that. But it is absolutely hilarious. And yeah, Lydia, Mike Tyson did punch somebody on an airplane, and apparently nothing happened of that, Calvin, which is pretty wild because I thought he'd get in trouble for that. That was really weird.
Yeah, most people do. I can't go on an airplane and punch someone in the face without getting trouble.
Dude, I don't even know if I want to go on an airplane right now, Calvin. With the way the weather's been here, we've had like a plane disappeared here. We had multiple planes. Like, do you see all those people go to the hospital from severe turbulence?
Yeah, there's a pretty nasty storm that rolled its way through here. Luckily, it's pretty much gone now, so I think maybe it's okay to get on an airplane now.
Did you see the
if you
video?
want to. I did. It was pretty intense.
Dude,
I would
it was
not
wild.
want to be on that flight.
It was wild. And did you see the final report they released on that lady that got eaten by the shark?
No, I did not.
Dude, I don't know why they didn't release it originally, but there was like people on the beach that saw it happen, and they reported it as a shark feeding. They saw like a red circle around the shark, and then they were yelling at the guy to get out of the water because they're like, oh, a shark's feeding on a dead animal over there. You should get out of the water. Turns out to be his wife, dude. That is wild. That's wild. And then, hey, the week later, they shut down the beach again because there was another shark trying to push somebody off a paddleboard. Wild, 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 Calvin. I got to stay out of the water
This
and
show
off
is
of
taking
airplanes
a
for a
very
couple weeks.
dramatic turn here. The Kings beat the Lakers tonight, guys.
Way to bring it back, Calvin. Way to bring it back. So, hey, everyone that's just joining in right now, don't forget to vote for your Sacramento Kings All-Stars. You have until January 21st. You can vote every 24 hours. And I think you can vote for like 5 people at a time. So I just got mine set where I literally, I just vote every single day. I got an alarm on my phone with a link. It pops up. I click on it. I vote all 5 King starters. Maybe we'll see Kevin Huerter make an All-Star game this season, Calvin. Maybe we'll see Harrison Barnes. You know, much deserved for him. But, hey, I just vote for those guys every single day. So make sure you guys do the same. Because, honestly, like I said earlier, that's the difference between our fan base and other fan bases is we're so dedicated, but we're so small. So we really, really got to lean on the dedication and vote every single day because we don't have, you know, everybody in freaking Canada to vote for our guy to make the All-Star team. We don't have that, dude. We just don't have that. Calvin, I thought we were going to have India. Like, you remember when Vivek took over the team and then he's like, I'm bringing basketball to India, and the Kings went there? I'm like, dude, everybody in India is going to be a Sacramento Kings fan. I was so excited. I was like, we're going to have the biggest – India's got, like, so many people. We're going to have the biggest fan base in the world. They're all going to be rooting for the Sacramento Kings. It's going to be great. Dude, I've been looking at the YouTube analytics. Got to give a shout-out to my guys in Australia. They tune in on the channel, Calvin. Got to give a shout-out to my guys in the Philippines. They tune in on the channel.
Yep.
Not many people from India tuning into Royal Rebounds, Calvin. I don't know what to say. I don't know how many people have a personal computer in India, but maybe it's the music. Yeah, shout out to Callum, dude. Callum is holding it down. He is definitely holding it down. All right, anything? Yeah, fuck the Lakers. Anything else you want to talk about in this game before we move on? Because, dude, we got another game on Friday.
Yep, it's on to the next one, man. Good win. Just like Monday was a bad loss, you put it behind you. Today was a good win. Celebrate for a little bit, but then move on. There's more games to be played.
Shout out to Key Kings. I'm Indian, just not from India. Hope that counts. Key Kings, I don't think there's a category on YouTube for Indians you're tuning in not from India. But, hey, shout out to you. We appreciate you so much. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are all awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us. All right, let's before we look at the next game, Calvin, let's check out this team a little bit, you know? Like, look at this Western Conference standings. There seems to be a team with a little purple in the logo there, and they appear to be out of the play-in tournament, Calvin. They seem to be in the top six of the Western Conference. Hey, that's the Sacramento Kings, dude. We're in the 6th seed right now, thanks to the Portland Trailblazers for losing tonight. Also, shout out to Mike Monticello. There they are. I didn't see the Mavericks, dude. I was looking up higher. They appear to be down at number 9. They might miss the playoffs. You got
me with that one. I wasn't expecting you to go there.
They might miss the playoffs, Calvin. You know, Luka who?
That's funny.
All right, let's talk about the next game. So, Kings are... Dude, we're on a good winning streak right now, dude. 1 in a row. We beat the Lakers tonight, 134-120. It's Wednesday. We're at home. The Kings are... the players might even be home by now, Calvin. They might even be resting, you know, in their own house, petting their dogs, you know, getting some home cooking. There's no traveling tonight. You know, they're probably going to get a good day of practice in tomorrow, get to hang out with their families, wrap some Christmas presents. You know, could you ask for more than being at home during Christmas, right? Like,
no,
could
petting
you
their
ask
dogs.
for more? But hey,
no, you can't ask for more than that.
We got a game on Friday against the Washington Wizards. This is a Wizards team, Calvin, that's Dude, it's been pretty impressive this year. I mean, they're what, 12-20 right now, but they started out the year much better. And they've dealt with some injuries to Bradley Beal. Is he still injured right now?
Oh, he is back.
Oh, he is back. What was wrong with him?
Oh, man, I don't know. It's a different thing with him every time. Shoulder, hand, foot, ankle. He's got a long list of injuries.
All right, well, hopefully he's not available for this game. Maybe he's sore. Maybe it's a non-COVID related illness, something like that. Maybe, if he orders a pizza to his hotel room, my Uber drivers out there in Sacramento can hook him up with a little one-game miss special. But, hey, Kristaps Porzingis is listed as day-to-day for this game. DeLon Wright, ex-Sacramento King, shout out to DeLon, enjoyed watching him here, is listed as out. And there's officially no players here on the Sacramento Kings injury report. Dude, this is looking pretty good for us, Calvin. I don't want to say this is an easy win, because when I do that, we get in trouble. Every team here is a professional, and you got to kind of approach it that way. ESPN, is almost as bullish as me. They say we have a 70% chance to win this game. I'm more like 95% chance. How are you feeling about this game?
I think the Kings definitely have a good chance to win this game. They're going to be at home. The Wizards are a middle-of-the-pack team in a lot of categories, especially offensive rating and points per game. So this is definitely an interesting team, I think, for the Kings to play. They haven't played a ton of games this year with their whole team healthy. Kuzma, Porzingis, and Beal, if they're all at 100%, that's a pretty good trio to have to deal with. And Porzingis is a very different matchup, for a lot of these other big men that the Kings have played so far this season. So it'll be a very interesting game, but I think the advantage is definitely with Sacramento being at home.
I mean, it's more than that, right? We're just a better basketball team, and we're at home, right? We got better players.
Yes, I would say so.
We got a better logo. We got a better fan base. I can keep going on and on, Calvin, but we got a lot of better things than Washington, right? Washington, D.C., they don't even have their own state, dude. They don't even know where they are. They're lost, Calvin. This is a lost basketball team wandering around Sacramento trying to pick up another W, and they're going to get smashed, dude, because, the Kings are ready for this game. They're absolutely ready for this game, and it's going to be...
the Wizards players wandering around Sacramento right now.
It's gonna be a doozy, man. It's gonna be a doozy. I think the Kings win by 40 plus in this game is what I'm hoping for.
You're killing me today.
I'm gonna make Calvin cry. Hopefully, like Silva says here in the chat. Hopefully, the Wizards lose track of Kyle Kuzma. He doesn't make it on the team playing out of Sacramento, and we just pick him up. He wants to be
in California anyway. Maybe he just stays.
We just pick him up. That would definitely be great. But hey, let's get a little bit more serious here. The Kings are probably going to win by 35 in this game. But Calvin, give me your keys to the game.
My keys to the game are going to be, I'm going a little bit away from what my keys have been lately. They've been very consistent because rebounding, and turnovers and all that stuff are so important to what the Kings do, really to what every team does, but especially Sacramento. The Wizards are, surprisingly to me, they do have Porzingis, but outside of that, I didn't think they had a ton of shot blockers on this team. They're fifth in the NBA in blocks per game. It's going to be really important for the Kings. They take a lot of threes. When they knock them down, 13 or more in a game, it bodes well for them. However, you have to have a balance offensively. You've got to be able to attack the paint, especially when De'Aaron Fox is on your team, right? That's got to be one of the strengths of your team, playing inside out, all of that stuff. So scoring in the paint, the Kings are one of the top teams in the NBA in paint field goal percentage, restricted area field goal percentage. It might be a little bit more difficult in this game, so it'll be really important for them to get some good looks at the basket and move the ball from side to side so they kind of open up the paint a little bit for them to attack. Turnovers, again, very critical. The Wizards are fifth in the NBA in fewest turnovers per game. The Kings rank somewhere in the middle, 14th, 15th, last time I checked. it's going to be very important for the Kings to not get off to a bad start, turn the ball over like they did today. 6 turnovers in the first quarter against the Lakers. They can overcome it against the Lakers. They might not be able to against this Washington Wizards team. And then I'm going to say, just like I said, scoring in the paint is good, that balanced attack. So keeping this hot shooting from the three-point line going. The Wizards do not defend the three very well. This is an opportunity for Kevin Huerter to continue to stay warm. Keegan Murray to continue to light it up. Let him rain from three, and hopefully they knock down those 13 or more threes, which is the benchmark for this team.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the couple things that I'm looking for in this game, first off, I want to see a wave going on in the crowd. I love the wave. We got to get the wave going. I think that's very, very important. We got to get a wave going during this game. And honestly, to be more serious, I think just like I've been saying over the past couple games, the Kings don't really have to do anything special here. They just need to make clean passes, not turn the ball over, get the rebounds they're supposed to get, and just play freely, play within the offense. The Kings have been through a decent amount of games, right? We're a third of the way into the season already. I think the Kings know what their style of play is supposed to look like. They've been through enough practices. They've been through enough games that it's like just stick to the basics, do what coach says, and just play within the game plan. Don't try and do too much. Buddy Hield shouldn't be dribbling the ball late in the game trying to do tricky things, right? These are the things that have got us in trouble in the past. It's like, just stick to the basics. Let's just get an easy win here. Let's just get an easy win, because that's what it should be in my mind, is it should be an easy win. But yeah, you're going to need to control a guy like Bradley Beal if he plays. You're going to need to figure out Porzingis. And then I see some people here mentioning in the chat, about Domantas Sabonis. He's got to ice himself tonight. He's got to be icing himself tomorrow. He did get whacked again. I can't even count, dude. I don't have enough fingers to count how many times this guy got whacked in the face this year. So I think he's probably used to it by now. But, he's got to be healthy and he's got to be available for Friday's game, which I do think he will do. So
for some reason, whoever plays center for the Sacramento Kings, your face region is definitely not protected.
I wonder. I mean, we've seen the masks in the past, right? And the goggles. You think they'll ever let us wear like a face shield or something? We can get Sabonis a face shield that he can wear during the games.
Dude, Sabonis is so important. You might have to just put that dude in a straight up bubble. You don't want anything happening to this guy.
He's too strong for a bubble, man. He's too strong for a bubble. Alfie Man says, will TNT ever be at a Kings game? Alfie, I think the Kings beat the Nets on TNT, right, Calvin? Wasn't that I think they had one game on TNT this year, and I'm pretty sure
they were up by like 50 in that game.
153-121 over the Brooklyn Nets, so a huge game, but no other games scheduled on TNT this year. Like I said, the 28th, next Wednesday, we're on NBA TV, January 11th on ESPN, January 23rd on NBA TV, and then March 6th and March 21st, both on NBA TV. Hey, if we're in a good playoff race, if we're playing extremely well, if there's a couple good matchups here, I could easily see some of these games being flexed, right? Especially late in the season, games against Portland, games against, some of these teams that are fighting for playoff position in the Western Conference. I could potentially see some of those being flexed. That is for sure. Any other thoughts, Calvin, on this game on Friday before we jump here into the comments? I got a ton of stuff to catch up on.
Well, I'm just interested to see, first of all, what Washington Wizards team comes out. They just beat Phoenix tonight in Phoenix. Porzingis did not play. It's a non-COVID illness, so it's one of those things you're not really sure his status or availability for Friday's game. But Beal had 27. The Wizards are 4-13 on the road as well, and they just won in Phoenix. This was only Phoenix's fourth home loss of the entire season, so definitely a big win for this team. I want to see De'Aaron Fox take the Bradley Beal matchup defensively, and then we'll figure out the rest from there. But I would probably have Kevin Huerter on Morris, their point guard, and then the forwards, it's going to be take your pick between Barnes and Murray on Avdia and Kuzma. Barnes probably is going to guard Kuzma if it were if I was making the choice. But it's going to be really interesting to see how they match up with this team.
Yeah, it really, really will. Hey, guys, we got almost 100 people watching right now. Please smash up that like button. Calvin and I are just fans like you guys. We do this for fun. We are not paid. We just enjoy talking to you all. So please, we get paid in likes. So smash up that like button. We greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel and share this with all your favorite Kings fans. It really, really helps us grow the channel. We would really, really appreciate that. So please hit that like button. And then, hey, I think it's time to dive here in the chat, answer some questions. Also, like I said, we do have Twitter Spaces. I know you guys are shy, but if anyone wants to jump here into Twitter Spaces and have their voice heard, we can definitely do that. So, Calvin, first question here comes from Silva, and this is considering you want to pick up Kyle Kuzma, which, I mean, I'm on board if the price is right, but Silva's asking, would you trade Davion or Harrison Barnes for Kuzma? Don't worry about the salaries. Just, would you be willing to give up one of those two guys for Kyle Kuzma?
Man, I would have to think for a while on that one. I do think that Kuzma could help this team a lot. But I don't know about giving up either one of those guys for him necessarily. First of all, he's a free agent next summer, and he's probably going to get a pretty good deal. So you're talking about two guys that are much better defenders than Kuzma is, fit really well with this team, and are a lot cheaper than him. I don't know. I don't know. Kuzma is a really tough one for me. I have a hard time deciding whether or not I want the Kings to go after him, whether it's with a trade or through free agency.
Yeah, I like Kuzma a lot also, but I would probably be more interested to add him in free agency, like you said, right? He will be a free agent at the end of this year, and I like Harrison Barnes. I think he will re-sign with this team for potentially a little discount. But honestly, the guy that I'm least willing to give up would be Davion, because the Kings are in control of Davion, right? He was a first-round draft pick. This is his second year in the NBA, so the Kings already picked up his team option for next year, and then they have another team option for the year after that. And then after that, he's a restricted free agent. So, he's basically in the Kings' control for the next 3 years if they really, really want that to happen. So he's the one I'm least willing to give up at this point. I like Kuzma, but the price has got to be right. And honestly, that price right now is probably a guy like Richaun Holmes. Just going to be straight with you guys. All right, Kuzma comes to sack for the cowbell, stays for the beam. I like it. Oh, yeah, dude, we're messing up, Calvin. I didn't even light the beam. Didn't even light the beam.
It's okay. Light the beam! There's always time to light the beam.
Woo! Yes, sir. Let's go, man.
The beam is lit.
The beam is lit. Bouncer says Kristaps is playing hurt. I heard. The dude is always hurt, right? So I wouldn't deny it. I definitely wouldn't deny it. Oh, Gilbert says, can we all wear purple robes in crowns? Yeah. You're welcome to, Gilbert. Calvin has a purple robe. Is it, Calvin, is it nearby?
It is not nearby, actually. We need to figure out where that thing
We'll have
went.
to pick up another one. Gilbert, are you talking about to the games, on the channel? You want to wear a purple robe at your house? I'm all for all those things, but I think you need to be a little bit more specific, because purple robes and crowns, dude, that's a great look. That is a great look. Charles says, Barry, we don't wave here. We light the fucking beam. Well, Charles, I like the wave and I like the beam. Is that okay? Is that okay? I like both. Pay attention to the game. Have a feeling y'all will get some Wizards players soon. Maybe trade, says Joe. Interesting. Should we look up this roster real quick and see? Because, dude, I honestly haven't been paying much attention to the Wizards.
They got some nice players on this team. I like Will Barton a lot. Obviously, we talked about the big three: Kuzma, Beal, Porzingis. Corey Kispert is a really good outside shooter. not totally sold on whether I would want to grab him necessarily. He's not much of a defender, and Denny Avdia is a very interesting player in his second year now. He had a pretty good game in Phoenix tonight. Double-double, 16 and 10 with 4 assists.
I mean, if I look at this squad, I'm like, I like Bradley Beal. I like Kyle Kuzma. I do like DeLon Wright.
Oh, yeah, and of course, Rui.
A little bit older.
How could I forget about him?
Makes some money here. He makes $8 million next year. And then outside of these young guys that I don't really see them giving up on, like, why would you want to give up any guy that's under 24 years old on this team? That doesn't really make much sense because as the Sacramento Kings, you're not going to give up a lot for those guys. So I do like a lot of those young guys, but I don't really know if they'd be willing to give up any of those. So, I mean, Kuzma, potential, probably the only guy I see on this team as a potential for the Kings. Anybody you see here?
Yeah, it's probably Kuzma or nothing to me, I would say.
Gilbert says, I think we going to get the upcoming Nuggets game. We got two upcoming.
I'm really excited for that matchup.
We got 2 of them.
You're excited? That might be the best big man matchup of the year so far.
Which one? Nuggets?
Joker versus Baby Joker, man.
Yeah. And it's back-to-back 2 games, dude. Back-to-back, both in Sacramento. That's going to be exciting, dude. That is really, really going to be exciting. And, hey, shout out to Sabonis. Dude, I got to knock on some wood over here, but shout out to Sabonis. The dude keeps getting hit in the face, like we said, but he keeps bouncing back, and he's been playing so good this season. So, dude, Sabonis killing it, dude. I'm excited. That should be a great game. Silva says, how about getting Cam Reddish for the cheap and Rose for Holmes and something like a second? You think that's doable, Calvin?
It might be doable, but I'm not sure I want Cam Reddish anymore. This dude doesn't seem to really have I hate saying they don't have the right work ethic because it's really unfair for me to judge somebody that I don't see work on a day-to-day basis. But you heard rumors that he wasn't really all in Atlanta. That's why they didn't want to build with him in the long term. So they sent him to New York. He hasn't really inserted himself or put his mark on that rotation either. The guy is incredibly talented and really young. There's a lot of upside with him, but I always get a little nervous when you hear those things in the background about a guy's mental fortitude towards, making himself the best possible player or even fitting himself into whatever role the team needs him to be, and continuing to grow in that role. So I think there's a lot of better options out there for the Kings than Cam Reddish right now, especially considering that they've got a pretty good rotation when it comes to the wings. Harrison Barnes is going to be a big question mark this summer with what happens to him long term. But right now, especially with the way Keegan Murray's been playing, I don't think they necessarily need Cam Reddish.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you, Calvin, where I'm reluctant to add guys that I deem as selfish. And I like Cam Reddish. I think the dude is a baller. I was really, really high on him in the draft. But everything we've seen from him just screams selfishness. Selfishness. And, that's the opposite of what this Kings team is. That's the opposite of what this Kings team is building. So I'm really reluctant to give up anything to bring in a selfish player. I'm even reluctant to sign, right? We talked about DeMarcus Cousins. I gave him a second chance for a second. Then I took his second chance away before he even got it because I started thinking to myself, and I'm just like, dude, we've gone so far. We've built so much. The chemistry is great. These guys like playing with each other. Yes, there's, a little bit of a reward in bringing in more talent, but then there's also risk. And when you bring in a guy that's so selfish, it can really, really destroy your team. And honestly, Calvin, there's so many good basketball players out there. Like, why do you have to take a chance on the guy that has a bad attitude, that's selfish, that doesn't try hard? And I guess I could say the same thing for Ben Simmons. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Jay said they might flex us on TNT. That's what they did for the Nets game. I think the Nets game was scheduled. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Nets game was scheduled on TNT. But I would love to see them flex us on some more games. That would be huge. Jose, aloha. Good evening. Good evening. Joe, yeah, we need to flex some games. Mike says, I'm tired of seeing Golden State on TV. Dude, Mike, I'm tired of seeing Golden State in person. I'm tired of Golden State. I am. I love being ahead of them in the standings. It feels so good. Charles says, I love Rose. I'd take him for sure, even if he never came off the bench. Calvin, I know you're a big Derrick Rose fan.
Yes, sir,
but
I am.
Maybe that ship sailed 10 years ago?
Well, I mean, I do like Derrick Rose a lot. I think that he would be a great backup point guard on really most teams. But this team's very deep and very guard heavy. So do you really want to trade a guy like Davion for Derrick Rose? I wouldn't do that. Davion's got his whole career ahead of him, and he's already one of the better defenders. That's probably a move that I'm not making.
Lydia, that Cada dunk was awesome. That was great. That was exciting. That was exciting to watch. Joe says, Wizards are one of those sleeper teams. If they get healthy, possibly a late playoff team or playing games in the East. Yeah, maybe. They started out the season really, really hot. I know they surprised a lot of people, myself included, because I thought they were hot garbage. I thought that this was the year that it's like, okay, either you show something or it's time to blow the team up. And honestly, Calvin, I probably sound like a guy on repeat because you've been hearing me say that for 3 years now, right? It's like, when do you trade Bradley Beal? Because you're not winning anything here. But, hey, some guys, Calvin's, not everybody is in the NBA to compete for a championship every year. Not everybody is in the NBA to win a championship. You know, some guys are just there to play the sport they love, to make millions of dollars and take care of their friends and their family. And honestly, I can't knock on that, but I don't want those people on my team. All right. I'm tired of TNT blowing up the sorry-ass Lakers upcoming games. It's annoying. Yeah. Get rid of the Lakers, dude. Move them to the G League. That's what I think would be a great solution to all this. You guys should blow out the Wizards at home. I like that. That's how I'm feeling. The only thing I like about the Wiz is Wiz Khalifa, right? Nobody beats the Wiz. That's an old joke. Dude, the chat here is so hard. I feel like I'm like on a good spot and I'm like caught up, and then all of a sudden it like skips ahead and it just like moves my entire thing and I get lost. Any comments you see here in the chat, Calvin, you want to go over? I'm trying to get to all of them because I want everyone to feel loved.
I mean, well, yeah, you're right. It's hard to stay up to date here.
Shout out to Dirt and Rust.
Shout out. There, Angel has an interesting comment here on De'Aaron Fox after getting ejected. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. Saying Fox wrote about the ejection. I still can't say it.
Gilbert's trying to trade me, bro.
Officials get really upset when you tell them not to ref the score. Fox wrote, apparently.
That's a fine. That's okay. He just signed a big deal. But, dude, honestly, you know, like, I know you didn't like that situation. You thought that, you know, he got the best of himself.
It's unacceptable,
his emotions, all that. But, you know, Calvin, what have we been talking about the past 5 years, right, is that this Kings team needs a dog. They need someone that lights the fire under people. You know, we thought maybe that was going to be Davion. Maybe that's De'Aaron Fox.
You can do that in a lot of different ways without getting yourself ejected.
Dude, you got to start somewhere, bro. You got to start somewhere, Calvin. And maybe that's De'Aaron Fox. Maybe he's going to be that guy. Maybe he's, like, gotten better year and year and year, and finally he's like, this is my year. And Calvin, dude, it's not like this is the first game of the season. The refs have been trash for us all year long, dude. Maybe it's finally come to a head for where he's got to voice his frustration. But, you know, it's not all bad, dude. It's not all bad. I like to see some emotion out of De'Aaron Fox because I
like
think
to see De'Aaron Fox
push
play.
him.
He can't play if he gets ejected.
That's true. That is very true. I don't want him to do it again, but every once in a while it's okay, you know. Gilbert says, Give us Beal. We will throw Barry in the trade. Okay, Gilbert. I see how you feel.
Damn. You just got traded for Bradley Beal, dude. How's you feel?
That should make me feel pretty good, right?
That
I don't know if
should
the
make you feel
salaries
pretty good,
match,
actually.
but the talent is definitely, I think the Wizards maybe got the best part of the deal. Just going to lay that out there. All right. Rory. Do you like Rory?
I do like Rory. I think the Wizards do a lot also. They're probably not going to move on from him anytime soon.
Here's a good question. Why is Taj Gibson still in the league?
That's a good question.
Because he's tall.
He's tall. He's a really good rebounder. He's a good teammate. And he's one of those really, you just talked about a guy who can light a fire under their team, motivate, all that stuff, and do it without getting ejected. And Taj Gibson is one of those guys.
Yeah, definitely. What about Daniel Gafford? You like Gafford?
I do like Gafford, actually. I think he's really – I don't see him as maybe he's peaked a little bit, but I think he's a good backup center to have for your team. Pretty solid rim protector, pretty solid player, in terms of a role backup center all around. I'm not going to try super hard to go out and get him. I don't want to give up too much, but I think he would be a good backup center to have. Yeah, sure.
Yep. Here's the tweet from De'Aaron Fox. Officials get really upset when you tell them not to ref the score. Dude, 25-year-old De'Aaron Fox is not taking shit from anybody, Calvin. He's not taking shit. The rest probably didn't know that it was his birthday. Probably didn't even know. Sports streamer. Yeah, I did hear about Franco Harris. R.I.P. That's rough, dude. Did you hear about that, Calvin?
I did hear about that. I mean, the guy lived a pretty good long life.
Dude, the crazy thing
rest in peace,
is he literally passed away like hours after doing an interview where he said he felt fantastic. He felt great and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's sad for sure. And he is one of the more iconic sports figures, playing for such an iconic team and one of the most memorable individual moments in sports history. He's definitely a legend.
Charles says Kuzma is selfish also. I mean, I could see that. The dude's got a championship, though. Maybe he's a little selfish. But I think he wants to win.
His wardrobe is pretty bizarre. I will say that about Kyle Kuzma.
Dude, very,
guy
very
comes into
weird.
the game wearing, like...
What was that dress he was
I don't
wearing?
even know what to call them. Yeah.
That was really, really weird. Adam, shout out to Adam. Everybody the Kings using in the rotation now is good for the team. Trade the guys they're not using. Yeah, Adam, we all want to trade, the change in our pocket for some more dollar bills. But, it takes two to tango. We'll see how good Monty is, dude. We will see how much he paid attention when he was in Houston. Because, dude, that Houston team, like every single year, it's like, oh, you signed Dwight Howard. Oh, you trade for Chris Paul. Oh, you make another big deal. And it's like, dude, how do they still have assets to be trading for all these players and signing all these guys? They figured out a way to do it. So hopefully Monty was paying attention and learned a thing or two, which I think we can clearly say he has. Callum wants to trade for Udonis Haslem. Yeah, that'd be huge. Backup center for us, Calvin. Too many guards on the Kings. D. Rose is kind of old now. Yeah. Tito's living in the past, Calvin. What do you think the Kings would be if we traded for Ben Simmons?
Well, it depends on what they traded to get him. Depends a lot on what they traded to get him.
Yeah, they would be a team with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Not as good of a team in my mind. Ninja style, what do you think it would take to make a trade for Batman?
The Batman?
I mean, we already got the beam, right? Like, we just got to make a little bat symbol to put over the beam, and then we probably don't even have to trade for him. He'd probably just show up. But the thing about it is he would show up after the win, so that probably wouldn't help us. we got to, like, light the beam before the game, like the night before. But I don't know.
Batman is probably a permanent free agent, right? He seems like a lone wolf type of guy. I don't think you trade for a person like Batman.
All right, I just got everything. Okay, sorry, guys. It just sent me to the bottom again, and I'm not scrolling back up. So if you guys have a question that you asked that I didn't answer, just go ahead and drop it here in the chat. We'll answer a few more of these, and then we'll let you guys go. We know it's a little late for you guys, and we appreciate you all for hanging around. Kristen, good to see you. Welcome in.
Draymond Green talk here in the chat, Barry.
Yeah,
Draymond Green.
Someone needs a slap. You know what? Draymond Green, for no damn reason other than he is a disgusting, dirty-ass player. F Draymond. He would be a curse for our team. Wow. Tell him how you really feel.
Damn, man. Yeah.
Monty's going to get extended with or without a trade. Yeah, he will. He definitely will. Definitely will. All right. Let's see who else we got here.
You got any thoughts on Tyrese Halliburton, Wally Szczerbiak beef?
Dude,
that everybody keeps talking about?
I watched it briefly, like the video where he's like, who was that? I don't even know who that was. And I mean, I remember Wally back when he was on the Cavaliers playing with LeBron James, three-point shooter. Not the best guy, but yeah, Gilbert, apparently he called Tyrese Halliburton a wannabe all-star. Dude, why are we even talking about Wally Szczerbiak? What the hell does the guy even do? Is he like a coach somewhere or something?
He's the Knicks. He's the Matt Barnes of the New York Knicks. He's their halftime inside guy. And Matt Barnes, if you haven't seen his Instagram lately, he went off on Wally Szczerbiak earlier today.
That's
Dropped
hilarious.
a few F-bombs. It was pretty nice.
I mean, calling somebody a wannabe all-star, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, doesn't everybody want to be an all-star in the NBA? Like, yeah, I'm a wannabe all-star. I want to make the all-star team. Like, and this is what, Tyrese's third year in the league. I think he's still leading the league in assists. Maybe he is an all-star. Like, that's not some guy I'm going to root against. I don't understand the hate from Wally Szczerbiak, other than the fact that he's probably bored because nobody knows who the fuck he is.
It was a strange comment. I don't agree with the comment. However, I'm wondering why, as a Kings broadcast team, we're still covering Tyrese Halliburton like he plays for the Kings. I don't understand this. I love Tyrese. I think he's a much better basketball player than I thought he was going to be at this stage in his career. He was a fantastic pick. And because of that pick, the Kings ended up getting Sabonis. I wish Tyrese well. He will make a bunch of all-star teams most likely in his career. But he plays for the Pacers, man. We don't need to be covering this guy anymore and talking about Wally Szczerbiak calling him a wannabe all-star at halftime of the Kings game. I'm over that. It's time to move on.
Charles says, the more shit Hallie says, the less I care. I really like that guy, but at some point he's got to shut up about getting hurt by Sac and get down with his team. Charles, I actually 100% agree with you. I really, really do. I like Halliburton a lot, but you're right. At the end of the day, you got to, like, save your energy, like, internalize that stuff. If it gives you motivation on the court, that's good. But honestly, like, Hallie, you're a professional basketball player in the NBA, and you're a good player. Everyone's going to be talking shit about you all the time, dude. It doesn't mean you need to be bringing up guys that played in the NBA 15 years ago and, mention them because they said something about you. I like guys that brush it off, just let it go. Maybe they internalize it, use it as motivation in their next game, whatever you need to do. But at the same time, there comes a point where it's like, bro, you're just wasting energy talking about all these people. You don't need to do that, man. You don't need to do that. Monty needs to light the beam when he gets his extension. Yeah, I would love that. Brian wants to know if anybody got a Domantas Sabonis bobblehead. No, Brian, we have not get one. But I think, if you ship one out to us tomorrow, it could probably make it here by Christmas. Just a heads up. Wally was out of pocket as hell, no doubt. That was funny and effed up. All right, Lydia says, the Kings just need to play their game like tonight, and we will be in the playoffs for sure. Yeah, Lydia, I agree. They need to just do their thing, right? Like, that was my biggest problem with that entire road trip, was it just felt like there was so many games where the Kings just forgot who they were. They were letting other teams take them out of their comfort zone. They were letting other teams dictate the pace, the shots they were taking. It was injuries. Guys are tired. It was a rough road trip against a lot of good defensive teams. But, hey, newsflash, you got to beat good teams if you want to make the playoffs. You got to beat good teams. And so I honestly think that road trip was a learning experience. It was a growing experience for this team. I think it will help them. Adversity does help, people grow, helps teams grow. But Lydia, you're 100% right. The Kings just need to play their game. That's what they need to do. That is the most important thing. And, we talked about a couple episodes ago, Calvin, what's the difference between a good team and a great team? For me, a great team is a team that it doesn't matter who they're playing, where they're playing, they play their game, right? That is a great team to me. The Kings are still trying to become a great team, and it's not going to happen overnight, but, nights like tonight are a step in the right direction. Friday is another step, and then you mentioned it, these 2 games against Denver is going to be absolutely huge. Do they stick to their game plan against Denver? Do they allow the Nuggets to kind of pull them into Denver's game? We'll see. We'll definitely see.
A tough game. Denver, man, they've pulled themselves all the way to the number 1 seed in the Western Conference now. They're playing very, very, very well.
Apparently, I'm on fire tonight. It's a little warm in here.
Barry stays lit, just like the beam.
Yeah. Light the berry! All right. Oh, man. You guys are awesome. What's up, Ramon?
How likely or what's it going to take to get John Collins from Atlanta?
Hold on. I saw someone say Andre Karolinko. What the shit?
There was a AK-47 mention in there.
Man, that guy's allowed to cheat on his wife once per year or something? That's wild. That's the thing. Once per year is acceptable. What were you saying, Calvin?
The berry. Neil, we need to make that a T-shirt or something.
What'd you say about John Collins?
Silva wants to know, what is it going to take to get John Collins here?
Probably more than the Kings are willing to give up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking multiple first-round picks, Harrison Barnes, Davion Mitchell would probably make it work. I don't know if I'm willing to give that up if I'm the Kings, honestly. Talk about another guy that maybe is a little bit selfish. Seems like every year he wants out. Do you really want a guy on your team that every single year is like, trade me? We just got rid of a guy in Buddy Hield that kind of did that. And at least Buddy, played every game and tried his best. What's up, Ramon? Good to see you here. All right. Ninja Style's uncle is a Jazz fan. Sorry to hear that. Dude, did you hear or did you read that article about what Donovan Mitchell said about the Utah Jazz?
I didn't read the whole article, but I read all the excerpts, the biggest, flashiest quotes from it.
Any thoughts?
It's interesting. It's always really interesting to hear somebody's inside perspective. And it's also, you have to wonder how much of it is, I'm not saying that Donovan Mitchell is lying through his teeth, but he's obviously biased in this situation in some ways. When it comes, I'm not talking about like fighting for racial inequality and all that stuff. I'm just talking about being unhappy with the organization in general, right? Like, if you're unhappy, you're probably going to see things from a more negative standpoint, than if you were in a better place. You might think that something might piss you off a little bit more than it should because you don't like Rudy Gobert, or you don't like playing in Utah, or you don't like the fans or something like that. So it's just a very interesting thing that you don't hear from athletes a lot of times talking that in-depthly about off-the-court stuff that deals with their everyday life in the city that they live in outside of their job as a professional basketball player. So I think the bottom line for me is that he's clearly very happy in Cleveland. He feels kind of reborn, a little bit as an athlete, which should be a scary thing for the rest of the NBA because this dude's a damn good player. Yep. If he actually is happy with the place that he's at, considering they also have a very good team there around him, he could definitely do some damage, and this Cleveland team could be great for a long time.
Yeah, he's a great player, phenomenal player. But, I read the whole article, and I was a little taken back by it, Calvin, because honestly, I had no clue that he felt anywhere near this way, dude. Like, maybe this guy could be an actor, when his NBA career is over, because he was definitely playing the part in Utah. He looked happy. Everyone was rooting for him. But it is interesting, to see his perspective, him to dive in a little bit and say, I didn't really feel comfortable. There wasn't a lot of people there that looked like me, and stuff like that. And I totally get that. Comfort, being comfortable in your workplace is very, very important. Helps you with your job. But yeah, it's a really, really crazy article. Calvin, last night, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Last night, my girl was working late. I was chopping up a little bit of, the devil's lettuce, having a salad, and I was watching the Full Send podcast. Don't know if you ever watched that. It's not the greatest podcast, but guess who was the guest on the Full Send podcast? You're never going to guess it.
Well, then I won't guess.
The Juice, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, wow.
It was really, really interesting. But he was talking about, he didn't want to talk about if he did it or not, and Nicole's killer is still on the loose, blah, 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 all that stuff. Like, they tried to push him on that question, and he's just like, nope, not talking about it. They tried multiple times, and he's like, nope. He's probably never going on another podcast again, because at the end it was kind of awkward. But the interesting part, right, was they were talking about his time back in USC, right, and how, in Hollywood and all that, and, a lot of the guys now, and, I'm not saying this is a negative thing or anything like that, but, it's no secret, Calvin, there's a lot more black people, African Americans, whatever you want to be called, in Hollywood, in sports, and all that stuff. OJ was a trailblazer in a lot of that, right? Where he would show up at a party and he'd be the only black person there, right? And so they asked him a little bit about that, and he kind of dives into it, and he said that he never even realized that until he met somebody else that had a different perspective and would talk to him, and he's like, he'd walk into a room, he would know exactly how many people that looked like him were in that room. He's like, I was oblivious until they brought it up, and then I started paying attention, and I'm like, this is kind of weird and all this stuff. So it's interesting to hear, athletes' perspectives in different situations. I always enjoy listening to people's different perspectives. But hey, check out that podcast if you want to check it out. It was funny. When Asha got home, I told her, I was like, Asha, we're in a crazy simulation, because I never in a million years thought that I would be at my house watching a podcast of O.J. Simpson talking about how Kanye West is fucking up, dude. Never thought in a million years I'd ever see that. So it's pretty wild. Calvin, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, man. That's tough. So I tell you a little bit about myself.
Do it.
A little bit of a Grinch when it comes to Christmas stuff. I like Christmas. I like waking up on Christmas Day. I love watching basketball all day long on Christmas. That's my favorite part of Christmas. I like getting together with the family, all that stuff. Stuff I do not like. Christmas music, number one. Cannot stand it. I'm sorry if that offends any of you. I hate it. They've been playing Christmas music at my work since Halloween. It is driving me insane.
Calvin, it's called holiday music?
Stand it. It's bad music. That's what it is. It does not make me feel good. It does not put me in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, I guess maybe I am the Grinch. But no, I don't really like a lot of the traditional Christmas movies either. Christmas Vacation is a great one.
Dude, have you seen the video?
I like Elf. Die Hard is a good one.
I think it's on Instagram where the kids are in the house and one of the parents dressed up like the Grinch and they come in the front door and they have a bag and they're like trying to steal all the presents and the little kid is like so pissed, dude. He's trying to beat up the Grinch and the other parent's like holding him back. Dude, it probably ruined this kid's life, dude. If you're a parent, never do that to your child.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Come on.
It is,
We could put it in there.
Which
right?
one? Which Die Hard?
The original.
My favorite Christmas movie probably got to be Friday After Next. I like it. It's a great one. Great movie.
Bing Crosby is rolling in his grave. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Gilbert
Sorry, man.
says,
I cannot get down with Bing Crosby's movie.
y'all seen the new Light the Beam pre-roll? No, I have not. Tell me about it, Gilbert. Tell me about it. But hey, guys, if you guys have not seen already, I got the End the Streak shirt on here. You can pick it up on RoyalRebounds.com. It's in the shop. We're ending the streak, guys. If you want to show your support for Royal Rebounds, show your support for the Sacramento Kings. If you want the Kings to get the 5th record in the West and me to shave Calvin's head, pick up one of these End the Streak shirts at RoyalRebounds.com. You will not be disappointed. It's a pretty sweet shirt, man. I like the Royal Rebound tag on the bottom. I feel legit, dude. I feel too legit to quit, Calvin. Alex says, unfortunately, I feel like the Hallie Kings chatter will go on for years. Every interview he has, he talks about the Kings, and Kings fans continuously bring him up. It's like a disgruntled ex situation. Yeah, I mean, it will happen. It probably hurts him seeing how well Sabonis is playing with the Kings. It probably hurts him seeing how well the Kings are playing without him, right? He thought that was going to be his team, and that he was going to be the one to help them go to the promised land. And he got a rude awakening, man. Yes, we all love you, but you're a player. This is a game, and this is a business. And honestly, you're a pawn piece, right? You're a chess piece in the game. And, maybe one day Halliburton does come back to the Kings and wants to be with the team. I don't know. We'll see. But, I never have any hate for Tyrese Halliburton. So I want him to be successful, and I want the Kings to be successful. So we talked about it ad nauseum, right? Who won the trade? Maybe both teams won the trade, right? Maybe both teams won the trade. Shout out to Nate. Nate says, my brother spent like $100 for 6 bobbleheads. What is he going to do with them all, Nate?
Stocking stuffers, bro.
Whoa. Trade Fox is in here.
Ethan, is that you? Shout out to Mike. Have a good night, bro.
Oh, man, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, Key Kings. They get weird guests on that show. Weird guests. McDonald's chocolate chip cookies are so good, freshly baked. Good point, Ramon. Good point. All right, any other serious questions here? We're not trading for Batman. You see anything, Cal?
Sass is asking if we saw what the Buddy Healed clip. I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is, but.
Ooh, dude, Home Alone, great Christmas movie, Ninja Style, great Christmas movie.
And Bad Santa, I saw that mentioned a few times. I know you love that movie.
I love Bad Santa. Charles loves Christmas music.
Charles.
Who the hell is Bing Crosby?
You should Google him, dude.
Is that's not a typo? Bill Cosby?
Nope, that is not a typo.
Oh, Crosby, not Cosby.
Yeah. Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby. I'm a Google. Bing. Oh, a singer. Man, isn't that crazy, Calvin, that we just like live in this age where it's like, oh, what's this? And I can just type it in 2 seconds and know. Like, how did people get information before the internet, Calvin? How did people? You just supposed to ask your dad, Dad, who's Bing Crosby? And whatever your dad says, you're like, okay, that's the facts.
Or you read a book,
That's wild. Cal is the Grinch. Chevy Chase, Christmas Vacation.
I would love Christmas music more if they did it like the way Dave Chappelle did his
Elf.
version of Nat King Cole's Christmas music. If any of you are Chappelle Show fans, you know what I'm talking about.
Ramon says, I hate when people beat around the bush. What bush are you talking about, Ramon? Sorry, I'm just catching up on these comments, so it's sometimes a little...
Shout out to Neil. He says, Bing Crosby played with Wally Zerbiak.
Charles, pick up the shirt, bro. Do it. All right, Nick has a theory that we are in a simulation or we are the first and we are headed to one. It's a great amusement. What? Central Valley King? I got to reread this one. Nick Bostrom has a theory that we are in a simulation or we are the first and we are headed to one. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, we could be in the Matrix. I don't know. Calvin, you think we're in the Matrix?
I don't know, man.
Which pill did you take?
I don't know if what I would do with that information if I knew we were in the Matrix. You know?
The Matrix isn't going to let you know, bro.
It let Neo know.
Ooh, you got me there. Sass, what is this Buddy Hield clip you speak of? I'll definitely look it up. If you guys, hold on. Let me just use this little thing.
There you go.
Called the Internet Buddy Hield. What is this? What is this Buddy Hield talking about nowadays? Oh, man, this is funny. I can't find him, dude.
Sass says it's on Twitter.
Oh, I'm on Twitter.
Oh, there you go.
Malik Monk is younger than Devin
Good night,
Booker,
Lydia.
Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, D'Angelo Russell, Mikal Bridges, DeJounte Murray, Jaylen Brown, DeMontis Sabonis, and Buddy Hield. Please, oh, this is a letter for Lakers fans saying, please re-sign him. Oh, is this the clip right here? Him talking to Jeannie Buss? Honestly, Calvin, I have no idea what clip I'm even looking for, bro. Buddy Hield, I'm sure, is in a lot of clips.
Sass says NSFW.
Oh, not safe for work. All right, Sass, we're going to have to check that out after the show. This is a family-friendly show, so unfortunately, I'm not trying to get canceled, bro. Not trying to get canceled. Year Without a Santa Claus is classic. A Year Without a Santa. I'll have to check that out, dude. There's a lot of movies. Apparently, I'm supposed to be watching Avatar tonight, Calvin, because I've never seen Avatar before, and I might be going to see Avatar 2 in the movie theater tomorrow.
Definitely should watch both of. I haven't seen the second one yet, but you should definitely watch the first one before you go watch the second one. It's a great movie.
Key King says, why, Buddy, talking about sack while shooting threes in Boston? Dude, why is everybody talking about Sacramento, Calvin? Why? Why does everyone want to talk about Sacramento? They can't get us out of their mouth.
Because
they want to talk
Beam
about us
team,
for
and they're
16
jealous.
years. Now they can't get us out of their mouth.
They want their own beam.
Yeah, they're probably jealous of our beam. Our beam is bigger. It's longer. It's
True. It
nicer.
just got bigger, too. It's new and improved.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a good beam, dude. We got a good beam. I like our beam. Purple? Oh, dude, I got to show you. I was at the mall yesterday, and Santa Claus got me a pair of sunglasses that are pretty nice. They got purple lenses. They got a little purple Oakley symbol on both sides. Dude, they're sweet. I might have to wear them on the show once I open them because I'm not supposed to know what they are yet.
I was going to say, that was really nice of Santa to meet you at the mall a week before Christmas and give you your present. He must really like you.
Yeah, he actually made me drive them home, too. And I guess Asha wrapped them for me, so I didn't. But Hallie wants to come back. What is the Buddy Hield sing song? Anybody know what a Buddy Hield sing song is?
I do not.
I'll have to look this up. The real question. Oh, yeah, dude, I don't know who Bing Crosby is. Calvin, is that out of pocket for me to not know who Bing Crosby is? I mean, I know he's a singer.
I don't know.
But,
If it's out
is
of
this
pocket.
guy, like, super famous?
He was a long time ago.
Dude, this guy was born in 1903. Come on, guys. Come on. You guys are getting mad at me because I don't know about somebody born 120 years ago? Charles, I'm not young. You're old, bro.
Oh, I think Sass just sent us that clip of Buddy Hield on Twitter. I don't know if you can pull that up, but
Charles was born in 1903, Calvin.
we should start calling him Benjamin Button then.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yo, I got that End the Streak shirt. That's dope. Hell yeah, Charles.
Oh, nice, man.
Ask you pop. Haters, bro. I feel like if Santa gave you something, you should be careful.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. Yeah, did y'all know our jerseys had the beam on it? Yeah, Nate. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Oh, man. He got his new City Edition Malik Monk jersey. He's all excited. He has to show it off every chance he gets. So he'll be back. Man, thanks for sticking with us tonight, guys. This conversation has really strayed a long way from the basketball court. But, hey, we're here for it. It's the holiday season, right? So
Look at all these beams. Lots of beams. Dude, I like this thing, Calvin. This thing is sweet. This thing is so sweet, dude. I like it a lot. 0. That's how many shots I miss. You know my favorite part? I don't know if you can read this, but check this out, dude. Oh. That's my favorite part of the jersey. It's the quote from David Stern. We're going to keep this team in Sacramento. Dude, I'm keeping that, bro, because if they ever try and take us again, I'm going to show them that quote, and I'm going to say, you can't let David Stern down. You better keep that team in Sacramento. We're not going to Vegas or whatever the hell you want us to go to. We're staying. We're lighting the beam, dude. We already got a beam. We can't leave now.
that's true. The beam is lit. You can't move it from Sacramento.
Jay says both Hield and Halliburton are still butthurt about the trade. They need to join a club with Cousins. Yeah. Yeah, the Kings trade
they're
you.
actually
club.
good now.
All right. Lydia. Good night, Lydia. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know it's getting late. We're just having fun, interacting with you guys. This is fun. Ask us anything, right? Ask me anything is what they say. Sass is sending me
The infamous Buddy Hield clip.
what? That is not Buddy Hield, bro. I don't know what he said though. Hold on, I'm gonna try and cue it up here. I'm gonna use my virtual cable.
The Phoenix Suns drama. Are you talking about the reopening of the wound between Monty and DeAndre Ayton and just style, or something more than that?
You benefit from playing with Jason and Jalen every day, practicing with them. How did they kind of maybe help your development? You benefit.
Oh man, Calvin, you didn't hear that, but I probably shouldn't have played that on here. Probably shouldn't have played it. Sass, you set me up, dude.
I can't wait to listen to it later.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that was not Buddy Hield. And then maybe it was Buddy Hield in the background. Yeah, nobody heard it. You guys didn't hear it. It's all good. Nobody heard anything. Brian, it is a sick jersey. Thank you so much. Thanks, Dirt and Rust. Yeah, it's awesome. Hopefully you guys got one. It's nice and smooth. I haven't played ball in it yet, but it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. No, Ricky, you didn't hear anything. Yeah, all we heard was light the beam. All right, Calvin, dude, I got to change the subject.
The Kings won, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Kings won, yeah. The Sacramento Kings, oh, yeah, the Kings won, yeah. Fox is so fast. Subbing us is so strong, yeah. Coach Mike is so smart, yeah. They are the playoff bound, yeah.
Couple of modern day Bing Crosbys right there.
Bro, they're going to cancel me, bro. I shouldn't have played that clip. Sass is going to get me in trouble, Calvin. I'm going to be canceled. Yeah, I guess we ended here, huh? Hopefully we don't get canceled before Friday. If you guys don't want me to get canceled, please hit that like button. And yeah, we'll see you guys on Friday. But hey, I need a couple things from you guys. We got 70 people here that are still watching us. We've been live for a little over 2 hours. We've been having so much fun here. You guys are all awesome. We appreciate you so much. You know, the reason that we even do this show is for you guys, right? It's a little bit of a therapy session for me. I'm not going to lie, right? There's not many Kings fans in Hawaii that I get to talk to. And Calvin, you know, he just loves to talk basketball. So he's here. He's having fun. But I want to hear from you guys. When we end this stream, not in the chat, I want you all to leave a comment down below the video. And just let me know your favorite part of the video, because it really helps us in planning for future videos, for future streams. We want you all to be happy. We want to create an enjoyable experience for you all. So please just hang out here for a few minutes, and then, you know, just write a comment down below and let me know your favorite part of the stream. Because, you know, if everyone writes like, kick Calvin off the show, we don't like him, his hair's too long, we'll kick Calvin out of here. If you don't like me, if a bunch of people are like, Barry's whack, dude, he's got bad takes, dude, I like his shirt and I want it, but he won't give it to me.
You're gone already, man. You got traded for Bradley Beal earlier tonight.
Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. So anyways, want to say thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. We appreciate you all. Calvin, you got any last words for the Kings fans out there before we get canceled?
Well, just to echo what you just said, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. We do this for you. Charles, big shout out to you personally. I really appreciate your comment the last time we did this. Definitely makes, like Barry always says, we don't get paid. We get paid in likes. So that was like motivation for me to, to keep bringing it every night. So I really appreciate your kind words. Thank you.
All right, guys. One final thing to say before we let you go.
Light the beam! Woo! Yes, sir.
Terrence
Let's go, man.
The beam is lit.
Dothan, my guy.